What most everyone really wants to know is if any commissioner candidates have a Jackson County plan of recovery. Historically, the building industry, with all its supporting business suppliers within Jackson County, has provided the income for most of its families. Most are very small business families who do not qualify for unemployment. These families are not counted by the Bureau of Statistics as unemployed, but they are jobless. Can anyone see value in selecting and sizing county construction projects to create jobs for local voters, rather than such massive construction projects that only out-of-state construction companies or off-the-mountain companies can qualify for the bonding? Will Jackson County policies ever encourage construction growth and development again?
Okay, thank you. I understand that unemployment rates seem to be trending down. Jackson County, fortunately, is one of those who had the lowest unemployment rate in Western North Carolina, and one of the lowest in the states. And sometimes those numbers are a little bit hard to read, especially when you look at self-employed individuals. When you look at what we are doing in the county currently and what we have projected to do, we have been doing our very best to try to spur our local economy and to provide for opportunities to be able to have entrepreneurs, local companies, local businesses, to provide for new job growth. We have just recently declared Jackson County a recovery zone, which has allowed for a local business to spend several $1 million to do some remodeling. We have assisted local nonprofits and providing resources to them, which has lended itself to our local economy. We have worked to try to do incentives to businesses to try to help them retain jobs as well as attract jobs. And one of the things that we're working on currently that we hope to implement soon is a policy in which will allow small businesses to be able to have a 3-year rebate on their taxes and be able to pay for improvements that they make to the property and trying to expand their business. Now,
I'd like to look at this the same way that we do our employment. I think we're to make every step that we possibly can to ensure that all our local people, anytime we have a job opening, give that local person in this county a chance to get that job. The same way with all of our construction work. A lot of this could be broken down into subcontracts, which would give several more people a chance of getting to work. But let's do everything we can to give our local people within this county the first chance at doing these jobs. And now, sometimes if the lowest bid doesn't mean that much, if it's not an awful lot lower, because you look at a local contractor, he works local people. Those local people spend their money right here in this county. They buy clothes, gas, whatever they need. The money is spent right here in this county. We need to take that into consideration and do everything we possibly can to work with our local people here.
To me, it's just ridiculous that we are subsidizing Catawba County, Henderson County, Buncombe County, whatever, with our tax dollars. I mean, you've got to look at the big picture here. If we can keep $10 in our county, it turns into $70. And I think there's not been enough effort done to keep that money in this county. You go back on this project for the stained glass. Some company out of Statesville got that stained glass contract. We have talented people here in Jackson County that didn't even get a chance to do that project, and I think that's wrong. I mean, and you can go down the line on all of this stuff. We have spent, well, we're right now $40 million in debt. If only a third of that, or 25% or whatever, could have been retained in this county, look at what we could have done.
okay, 2 sheets of paper. There's a list of 24 names on one and a list of 14 names on the other. And this is the pre-qualification list for a new job that we're planning at Southwestern Community College, that we're using an architect out of Greenville, South Carolina to design for us.
The closest qualified bidder, according to this architect, is Hickory, North Carolina. We have 4 other companies within 50 miles of right here that were told that they weren't qualified. Some of them have built buildings at Western Carolina University. Some of them have built buildings to the county before. But all of a sudden, they're not qualified. I can't figure out why nobody is qualified to do anything in this county. Nobody that lives here is not a qualified attorney. There's not a qualified construction person. That is not, I mean, we had to go out of town to find a qualified planner. And we have people on staff that went through this whole planning process. As far as the Jackson County creating jobs, we just spent $500,000 on a building that ain't worth $500,000 now. To keep a guy in that owes us $350,000. Now, I'm not a mathematical giant. You know, this is not working for me. I don't know about you guys.
I'd like to see every job that's bid go to Jackson County contractors, whether they were the low bid or not. But if I did that, I'd end up in the Iron Motel and the sheriff would be feeding me 3 meals a day. Because state law says that we have to award the contracts to the lowest bidder, period. As long as they're qualified and competent, we have to award it to the lowest bidder. Now, that's what we've had to do. Mr. Devlin just talked about a project where there was no local contractors at all. Well, that's a project that's being bid by the Board of Trustees at Southwestern Community College. That's not a Jackson County project. That's not a project we have any control over. We can't pre-qualify or do anything else. Now, I can't answer for the Board of Southwestern Community College. I'm not on it. I don't know why they set a bid bond so high that no one locally can bid on the job, because we do have competent, capable general contractors that could have done that job. But that's beyond our control. I do think, as Chairman McMahon said, we put a lot of good policies in place. Government, quite frankly, does not create jobs. We set the table for economic recovery. Private enterprise creates jobs. What we try to do is to make sure that we've got the water and the sewer infrastructure in place, that we've got the kids that are qualified employees that have good public education, that we make sure that we've got the other things that are necessary to do.
We have to put out everything that's over $500,000 through the bid process. We have encouraged every company that has won a bid in Jackson County, within our capacity and within what we can do legally, we've encouraged them to hire as many local subs as possible. In some cases they have, and in some cases they have not. We can't really control that. As far as employment in Jackson County, you know, there's a lot of bad news out there, but if you look at the official stats, out of the 8 western counties, Jackson County has the lowest unemployment. I know that there's a lot of people out there who are unaccounted for, who aren't qualified for unemployment insurance and things of that nature, but that holds true in surrounding counties as well. As far as will we ever encourage growth again, I honestly don't feel like we've discouraged it, because we have set policies in place. We've continued, as some of the other commissioners have said, to set the table for growth when that growth begins, by supporting things that the things that people who relocate look for. We've tried to keep our millage rate low. We've supported education. We've supported senior citizens, which is an ever-increasing amount of our population. Emergency service, social service. We've supported the infrastructure and the capital projects that are needed to move us forward. Thank you.